Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we have another conspiracy theory, and today's conspiracy theory is on the movie The Joker. I actually had notes for this whole video, but I actually left it inside and I don't even feel like going to get it, so we're just gonna go off the top of my head. All right, so this movie really caught my eye because there was a lot of points in this movie that kind of I guess put a spotlight on mental health, mental advocacy, psychopaths, sociopaths, mental illnesses stimulated from families and the environment around you. So this was the best video that I thought that could go next. Now, when the movie starts, it basically starts off with the Joker. Okay, he is basically painting on a face of himself. It is a mask. Okay, but in the movie, okay, the Joker, he was actually a clown. He was a trained clown profession. Okay, I found this to be very symbolic of his life. Okay, because as we know, like, symbolism in decoding movies is basically like how you get the overall messages of pre-programming and things like that, right? Excuse me. Now, in this movie, when I realized that his profession, his job was basically to make people laugh, or rather to come up with some type of persona, some type of characteristic, some type of career field that would basically help him to feel normal in a society that was basically rejecting him, right? So why do I say this? Okay, now the Joker didn't want to be a clown. Okay, he wasn't trying to be a clown. He actually wanted to be funny. Now, the crazy thing about this type of synchronicity is because a lot of times in this life, okay, we don't want to be the things that people put on us, right? But we start to say, okay, well, maybe it'll be more better if I do this because, you know, everyone wants me to do this. And maybe if this person says I'm a clown and this person says I'm a clown and this person says I'm a clown, then I'm a clown, right? So that was kind of like that type of perception in this whole movie, right? But as we keep going further into the movie, you guys, you start to see how mentally incapable the Joker was of actually understanding what was going on around him. Not that, you know, he was a horrible person, or not that, you know, he was really a shitty person or a shitty clown. Okay, it was more of that the people around him, they were bullies. Okay, so this movie basically shines a light not only on the bully but on the so the hero and the antagonist. Okay, but let's keep going with the story. So after this scene, okay, of basically him painting on his face, basically getting ready to, you know, be a joke to society, okay, in a symbolic type of sense of going out and being a clown. Now, when we get into what his actual job was, he was literally meant to go out and spin a sign around, okay? So basically his only duty in the world was to be a showcase or to be an entertainment for people to see, okay? And it wasn't even like he was telling jokes. He wasn't even being a clown. It was like literally he was there to look like a fool, okay? Or people just wanted him to look like a fool. Now, as he was doing his job, okay, he was paid for this job to spin this fucking sign. And this is like literally like the first freaking scene in the movie, you guys. So it kind of symbolizes that since he grew up or since he was young, he's been going through this, okay? But these kids, they go ahead and they take his sign, and basically he's running after them, of course, because, you know, I kind of seen that, you know, no one wants to get bullied. No one wants to be that person who is always stepped on, okay? So this underdog type of feel, okay? So he's running after these kids, and basically he's trying to basically get the sign back. So they end up beating him up, breaking the sign, everything that was so unnecessary, right? So it's like, it's almost as if like he's going into the world and he's minding his own damn business, doing the job, the profession that he's fit for, right, as in society's viewpoint. And as soon as he gets there, okay, so it's almost as if like society will say like, no, you can't be this person, or oh no, you shouldn't be this person. But as soon as you become the person that they want you to become, they kick you out from that as well, or they make that shitty for you, right? So it was like he was trying to conform to all these standards and none of the shit was working, right? So let's keep going. Now, eventually, I'm only highlighting the most important parts of this movie to me. All right, now as we go on, he loses his job, okay, because there was actually someone that he worked with who ended up giving him a gun. Pause. I forgot a very important part. All right, so after this incident, it's more of about his mental illness. All right, so there is a scene where he is talking to a therapist, and me being to therapy myself and understanding that it actually really truly doesn't help, like someone noting down and jotting down what you're telling them, like what the hell, like I can fucking jot this shit down myself, you know what I'm saying? So it's almost as if like the same people that we send to rescue us are the same people who are putting us in oppression, right? So let's keep going. Now, he's talking to her and she's like, Arthur, did you bring your notebook? You know, did you do the things that I've told you to do? And he's writing in the notebook. And of course, the day before that, he just got jumped. He just got beat up. So of course, I'm sure he's like, super, in a sad place. And mind you, the Joker in this movie, he had a laughing disorder, right? So it was almost as if his mom had trained him to always be happy, that it was not okay to be sad, and that he was basically a light for the world. And I'm sure that was true. Okay, this basically highlights every empath, every healer in the universe. Okay, but like I tell, like, if you guys follow me on my other channel, I talk about this all the time. All right, like, being an empath, being a healer is cool, but when you don't know how to distribute that energy to where you're receiving as well, it becomes a drainage. And I feel like throughout his life, he was being drained of the energies that God put on him to, you know, be happy and be uplifting. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like a lot of the things that the people around him wanted him to do was the exact same things that were destroying him, right? Now, so this was probably one of the saddest parts to me, because he's sitting here, he's talking to his therapist, and he's basically telling her like, hey, I'm always sad, I've always been sad. And she's just so not empathetic. She doesn't really give a fuck. You can see it all over her face. And she basically tells him how they're not gonna have money to basically, you know, pay for his meds, right? So he actually doesn't, nothing really happens. So it kind of shows you that, like, you know, that type of field where they don't give a fuck. So it's like almost as if like he couldn't really find genuine help from no one. All right, so now we go into the killing. Now, after you are abused and abandoned and neglected, there is a decision that you make. Okay, do you want to become the enemy, or do you want to become the hero? Now, what I feel is so symbolic and so crazy about the Joker and the Batman and this whole type of genre, okay, in Marvel, is because the Batman actually, he kind of went through similar experiences as the Joker. The Batman didn't have parents either. I think Joker actually just dealt with mental illnesses, or it was in his DNA, okay? So it was rooted down lines and shit like that. And it was almost crazy because both of Batman's parents actually had got killed, right? And Batman could have taken that and used that as a fuel to basically destroy Gotham, but he instead he helped them. But I say this to say, because I want to highlight on something very significant that a lot of people actually have, you know, answers on. You know, how can you be wealthy and be impoverished? Meaning, how can you be wealthy and still want? Or how could you be in poverty? It's like, say for instance, the Joker, they used his mental illness against him, of course, okay, because his parents were still there. He still had his mother, so he still had that, you know, guidance, but she wasn't there. Whereas the Batman's parents were wealthy, but he no longer had them because they weren't there. So in both aspects, these people didn't have guidance, kind of really putting a spotlight on, you know, leaders, authority, you know, how important it is to have guidance in your life, you know, so things like that. Now let's keep going back into the story. The Joker's on the bus, and this was basically when he snapped, okay? I always hear like that, don't push me because I'm close to the edge. The Joker didn't show signs of like being a serial killer or a murderer or a mass murderer, okay? But society will kick you when you're down. So say for instance, you're getting bullied, and the very people who watched you get bullied, they come over and they start laughing at you. like, how would you feel? You know what I'm saying? It takes immense strength to be the bigger person. And this is why I love this movie so much, okay? Now, let's keep going into the genre. So he's on the bus, and like I told you guys, he actually has a disorder about laughing. Now, I feel like this disorder is very symbolic of, you know, saying for instance, I told you I'm depressed, and someone says, oh, you're not depressed, right? You don't have that, right? And then 3 months later, I decide to kill myself. And then they say, well, we didn't see any symptoms. We didn't even know. We didn't know that they wanted to kill themselves, but you did. They did, right? So it's kind of the same thing. Like, he was laughing on the bus and people would like beat him up and shit because he would like be laughing out of nowhere. And I found that very shitty, but it was very symbolic for that type of energy, okay? One of the best examples I can do for this, okay, is basically when your parents tell you like, oh, you're not depressed, you'll be okay. Oh, you're not hurt, you'll be okay, right? This stems more, you know, problems. So the Joker, no one helped him. No one wanted to help him, right? Everyone's seen how shitty people treated him, but no one decided to help. Nobody did. Not his therapist that was being paid for, not his mother that birthed him, not the fucking people who probably had been through the exact same shit. They wouldn't even help him. And you know what was so crazy, you guys? Because minority is in any type of form, all right? Now, when we talk about minority, it's so symbolic how the first person when the Joker was actually on the bus, okay, there's 2 bus scenes, so 2 traveling scenes. One was when he was on the bus, he was talking to a black woman and he was playing with her child, and the child was laughing and she got mad, okay? So this actually highlights minorities, all right? It's almost as if no one wants to be the minority, but so that you won't be the minority, you'll kick somebody else that's down. So the Joker was minority because he had mental illness, and the black woman was minority because she was black. All right, the kid was pure as shit, so he could see what the fuck was really going on. So he actually laughed at the joke because I'm sure it was funny to the kid, right? Now let's keep going. The second time when he was on the bus, he started to laugh and he got beat the fuck up by older men this time, okay? So this kind of symbolizes a growth in the brutality that he was experiencing. So, you know, when a bunch of little ass kids beat you up and you're like 30 fucking 3, it's not gonna hurt as bad as like a couple 33-year-olds beating your ass, right? So it's like they were upping the cruelty. So it was almost as if he had to protect himself, right? And you know, it's crazy, throughout the whole movie, I noticed, I'm like, when the hell is he gonna go to jail? It's almost as if this shit was justified for him because people did him so shitty. It's almost as if like people believe that, okay, well, there's no higher law, so it's almost as if he was done shitty all his life. So it was like, what goes around comes around. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna treat you shitty as well. But let's keep going. All right, and mind you guys, this is just a conspiracy theory. Right now, my next observation is that in this movie, all right, after he kills the man, he ends up snapping and killing them. He actually never gets arrested, but his type of demeanor changes. Now, if you guys are into astrology, things of that nature, we all know that death, symbolically, the zodiac, it is the energy of change. So once he actually killed these men, he went through some type of change. Now, the reason why I say that is because we talk about sacrificing blood. Bloodshed is a automatic change, okay? So it's so funny because what's crazy is the Joker went through an initiation, or he did some type of ritual ceremony in this movie. So right after he goes and he kills the man, bloodshed, he goes into the bathroom and he starts to do this very poetic like dance, all right? And it was almost to bring in his new self, his new being, okay? And he was now the Joker. Now, what I feel was really crazy about this was I told you guys that he ended up losing his job. And what's funny is that the reason why he lost his job is because, like I told you guys, there was a friend, okay, that had actually given him a gun, knowing that he was like, you know, kind of off his shit. And I don't think that he was like crazy or delusional. He was just mentally, he was hurt. Like, type energy, okay? Like depression, you know what I'm saying? Like bipolar disorders, things like that. Not eating, okay? Things like that, okay? Just wanting to feel good enough. I could, like, it was just plain as day. Mental illness was like the main force of this whole fucking movie, right? So he gives him the gun. Joker, he's at his next performance, okay? Because before, remember guys, I was about to tell you guys this part, but I had to go back to the other part, right? So and the gun actually falls out. So his second little performance where he's being the clown, okay, he's teaching kids, or he's being a clown to kids, I guess, and the gun falls out, he gets arrested, and whoop-de-whoop. Mind you guys, when he told his boss called him in when the kid stole his sign, and he asked him, well, why did you quit on the job? And he said, well, you didn't hear, I got beat up. And he's like, he just like, he didn't do anything about it. So it gives you kind of that energy where if you are like of minority in any type of way, you're not protected. All right, now let's keep going. Now this is probably one of the climaxes for me, the whole killing thing. Now the next thing that was very important for me to highlight in this whole movie was a leader, someone to look up to. Like, now I told you guys, Joker did not have a leader, but he did, okay? He didn't have a leader in the physical form, so he was kind of lost, which kind of explained why he was kind of always in this type of imaginatory energy. All right, but after that, sorry guys, so he was in this like very imaginative energy, okay? But what I've noticed is that I'm sorry, the leader part I had fucking forgot. So basically he looked up to this guy. He was kind of like a Jimmy Kimmel type of energy, or like, I don't know, like someone who had a talk show, and he wanted to go on the talk show and basically talk about himself and talk about, you know, the thing. He just wanted to be an artist, right? So he was having dreams and shit about it, and speaking and doing that, and he had finally actually got on the show. They ended up calling him, right? And once he got on the show, like, the man literally embarrassed him, had the whole crowd laughing at him and everything. So it's kind of like that type of symbolic thing where the people that we look up to would kind of be like the very people who would shit on us. Like the same people that we look up to and the same people that we expect to save us are the exact same people who would be the ones to kick us when we were down, or who would be the ones to reject us, or cause us to lose the very opportunity that you would think that they would give us, right? So I feel like at this moment, this was the all turning, no going back, okay? Because you guys know once you die, you are in limbo. So I feel like for a while, Joker was kind of trying to figure out like, okay, am I gonna keep killing people, or what am I gonna do? But after that, it was, yeah, I feel like he was never the same. Like, and then pretty much by the end of the movie, he started to see a whole bunch of people wearing masks. Now I feel like this is very important because, mind you, Joker didn't wear a mask. Joker's face was the mask. So it was like the whole time he wanted to be himself, but in order to be accepted, he had to paint himself to be someone else, right? Rather, it's so crazy, and he didn't have to do that. It was almost as if like he was the guinea pig for all of this shit. And it was crazy because after he ended up killing the talk show host on national television, all right, he killed the talk show host, he killed like 3 other people on stage as well on national television, didn't get arrested, anything. That had like a huge ass riot for him. Everybody was happy, of course, like the people, the criminals and shit. So he's seen like a whole bunch of people just wearing masks. So it was almost as if like they were pretending to be him, but he was really himself. Like he had really snapped, y'all, like for real. So I don't know, let me know what you guys think about this. I don't know how many edits I'm gonna add in this, but yeah.